Hello guys, this is Ved Prakash Singh. I hope you are doing good. Today we are going to see the radiation safety. I have seen people in the industry are violating the radiation safety norms and rules. People do not understand the severity of the radiations. I don't say that every industry is violating the radiation safety rule, but in some industry, probably people know how to calculate the safe distance and they are putting the barrications. But in most of time, do you think or are you following the safe distance, what is calculated by the radiation calculation? Normally in the industry, I know that we do the radiography in the night shift just to prevent the many people getting exposed. Because in the night shift, probably it is the lean. I would say that when you are going to calculate the safe distance, yes, I don't doubt on your capacity, on your capability, on your technical knowledge. Probably we do a right calculation for the safe distance. But in some time, we are not able to make the safe distance. Again, I'm requesting you, please do not take my words. Like every industry. No, I'm not saying each industry and every industry. I have seen few industry. They may be calculating the right safe distance. They are putting the right barrications also at many places. There are some limitations for the barrications. So we do some violation. This is first thing. Second thing, few people I have seen that they don't follow the barricade. They cross sometime, which is not good. Although there is a radiation safety officers are there safety officers are there, everything is put out there. But sometimes even safety officer, a radiation officer, they take it granted. I'm not saying all, huh? But why I'm so confident because I was in the industry from 25 years. I had been working in the industry for 25 or 27 years. So I am confident because I have seen this kind of near misses reported in the incident portal. So today we are going to see the radiation safety. We are going to see the types of radiations. We are going to see the hazards of each radiations. We are going to see some samples of radiations. We are going to see how we can protect against the radiations. Gentlemen, this is about me. I will not go through line by line, and I urge you to please go through my profile if you feel so. LinkedIn links are given below, so go through as per your convenience. These are IITC profile on which we give the services to our respected clients on their demand and request. Guys, these are the technical competencies what IITC and its team has. Depending on the requirement from the industry, we provide the services to our honorable, respectable clients. Here, our IITC allows you to use this link to train your operation people, maintenance, construction, engineering team, NDT team, radiography team, the welders, the photographers, the radiographers. You can also use this link as a safety moment. In some of the industries, safety moments are given before conducting any training, before conducting any meeting, before carrying out any important things. Because in few industries or in many industries, safety comes first. Safety comes first does not mean it is a quote only. What they say, they do. Right, guys? Okay, guys, without taking much time, let us start with our main core training. We are going to see different types of radiations. We will see the ionization radiation. We will see infrared radiation, laser, microwaves, UV radiations, and important points to remember. Correct? Guys, these are the three types of radiations. Probably you might have heard, you might have read in many locations, in many books. There are alpha particles, there are beta particles, there are gamma rays, right? And as you know that alpha radiation is not able to penetrate skin, correct? This is again alpha particles, beta particles, and gamma particles. Now we will see that alpha, beta, gamma, which particle or which rays are very dangerous, hazardous. Probably you know it. I'm not challenging your knowledge. Correct? With this slide. So guys, what do you understand? Take a second. Try to understand. Probably you know this. But make one mock. Make a try. You see here there are three variations. Paper, plastic, concrete, steel, oblique lead. The last could be concrete or steel or lead, right? Now here we see that alpha particles. You see alpha particles are starting from the source and it is going up to the paper and it is not able to penetrate paper. Whereas beta rays are starting from the source and it is going through the paper. It is penetrating the paper but it is unable to penetrate plastic. The last but not least is the gamma. Gamma, you are able to see that it is penetrating paper, it is penetrating plastic, and it is not able to penetrate concrete, steel, and lead. That is why I'm sure you might have seen somewhere, you might have seen in the hospital where you are going to do, where you are going to go for X-ray, or some of you. I am not saying you, but you must have seen X-ray room. In X-ray room, there are big RCC slabs, walls are there. Why? Because X-ray should not penetrate and will not penetrate concrete, steel and lead. So that is why you are protected. Correct? Another example you can see here, alpha, beta, gamma. Alpha is not able to penetrate alpha is not is able to penetrate your skin. Beta is able to penetrate, I'm sorry, alpha is not able to penetrate your skin and beta is able to penetrate your skin and your hands and it is going to the aluminum foil. Now gamma is able to penetrate your hand and aluminum foil. Now it is going to the lead and it is not able to penetrate the lead. Now we will see that ionization radiation, what it can cause and how to protect. Now guys, ionization radiation can cause burn, can cause dermatitis, can cause cancer. Cancer means maybe leukemia. I am not a doctor, but I tell you, I had been doing my industrial hygiene course, industrial hygiene education, and there was one big chapter is radiation, and it was big chapter, and we have been taught what are the radiation types of radiation, hazards of radiation, how you can protect yourself from radiation, what are the dose of radiations. So next is cell damage. It can damage your cell. It can damage or change the bloods. It can have a cataract. So next is permission to store and handle and dispose the radio substances shall be obtained from regulatory authority. Everybody cannot store the radiation source. When you are going to store, use, handle, transport any radiation source, it must be authorized by regulatory body. And every contractor who are doing the radiography, checking the welding, checking the thickness, checking the pipe, checking the pipes, must notify the company before using the radiation source. Smoke detectors, you have seen, right? How many of you do not know the smoke detector? I hope everyone who are working in the industry or the students, they must or they are knowing the smoke detectors, static eliminators. Normally these equipments are equipped with radio sources. So guys, I am why I'm telling you, you or we have to be very confident, very careful when we are dealing with smoke detectors or static eliminators, because it has got a radiation source. Second, find out the rules for safe storage and use of suppliers and never tamper with them. So there are some rules how you are going to store these kind of things, how what are the use from the suppliers we need to know, and never ever try to tamper with this kind of detectors, this kind of eliminators, because you may be innocently tampering it. Probably you are getting exposed with the source. I'm sure the source is not so powerful, but even a small source can create a problem for you. Now, treat luminous article or self-illuminating devices similar to the radio source. Don't take any risk. Don't take any chance. There are many stories. I have heard that in some country, in some location, some radio source was lost, and one person got, mesmerized with this illuminating piece of the equipment, and he took this piece in the pocket, and after 2 days, this guy has got severe radiation, and he died. So this is the only story. This is the example. I'm telling you, probably you can listen, you can read many stories in the Google. Right, guys? Things to do. We in the industry, we must appoint a radiation safety supervisor who will supervise all the radiation related activity, beginning from the planning, beginning from the source, beginning from the calculating the safe distance, implementing the barricade, and ensure that no person is going inside the confined inside the barricade. Radiation safety supervisor must be trained as per the legal requirement. See guys, this is very important. Everybody cannot be radiation safety supervisor. He must undergo radiation training. He must know what are the different hazards. He must know what are different control measures. He must know how to calculate the safe distance. He must know how to put a soft barricading or hard barricading. So he must be trained by approved training center as per legal requirement. Arrange for medical examination, reviews, and routine dose assessment of the enrolled people. Guys, this is very important because there are some certain limit of exposure of radiation everybody can go through. But this has to be monitored. How it can be monitored? By a dosimeter. I have given some example of dosimeter in the last of my slide. You will come to know that. And this doses has to be monitored. And if the person is getting exposed more than the TLV doses, he has to be job rotated. So we are not going to speak about the job rotation over here. This is only a preliminary, a training program to everyone so that people can get advantage of that. Yes, need to have the medical examination. Every regular interval, he or she has to be medically examined to ensure that he or she is not getting any adverse effect of the radiation. And the last is we need to have the contingency plan, emergency management plan. Why emergency management plan? Because in the industry you are dealing with many radio sources. There is a huge number of construction, huge number of pipes, huge number of welding joints. So you need to have many sources. In case of any loss of sources or spillover of the sources, we need to know that how you are going to contain that kind of spill of the radioactive sources. This has to be mock drill. This has to be emergency drill. People have to be trained. Correct? Microwave and radio frequency. I'm sure everybody knows microwaves and radio frequencies because our life is it has become part and parcel of our life. Every home has got microwaves. And radio frequency we everybody knows it. I don't need to explain. But guys, we must know the hazards. We must know the hazards. Can cause heating of any exposed part of the body. It can be eye. It could be face. It could be hand. Correct? Leakage of energy from microwave oven is normally very small. Microwave doors are sealed tight, but leakage can happen, although it is a small quantity, but it can happen. Mind it, it can happen. Don't take micro oven as a safe, as a granted always. Be careful. Although, I'm not person to tell you not to use microwave. Use microwave. Personally, I'm not in favor of using microwave. To be honest, I should not say in my home we have a microwave, but we never use. Okay, guys. Now control leakage by keeping the door sealed, clean, and ensuring that hinges, door latches, and safety interlocks are efficient. They are working in correct manner. Don't ever try to ignore the safety interlocks and ignore the safety matters. Reduce exposure to stray radiation frequency. energy from heaters, dryers, presses by shielding applicator electrodes. This is a very important, guys. Now it is time, the time has come for us to train each and everyone, including every child has to be trained. Every woman has to be trained. Every housewife has to be trained. Probably they are educated. I don't challenge their education. They are full of knowledge. They know everything. Probably the implementation, probably the control measure implementation. They are not so serious to implement those control measures. So it is our duty. We don't need to fight. We need to educate them. We need to train them. We need to mentor them. We need to sensitize them. Limit exposure time or avoid getting the too close to sources. See, time exposure and the distance of exposure is very important. Let's say if there is some TLV limit thresh value, threshold limit value TLV, then we need to ensure that no person is getting exposed beyond the TLV threshold limit value, and we should avoid to be as close as source. Okay, you are using the microwave, you use the microwave, but when you are using the microwave, start the microwave, go go away, and after that ensure the time of exposure. Correct? Don't touch RF electrodes. In the microwaves, microwave manufacturers are following the standard practice and regulatory requirements, so you are not able to see electrodes. But never ever try to touch the electrodes if you are able to see it. Prevent unauthorized access to high voltage electrical equipments by interlocking all cubicle doors. In high voltage electrical equipments can also create microwaves and radio frequency. So we have to ensure that it is restricted access. Correct? So by doing this, by educating everyone, you have done your job. But we have to monitor also. This is our responsibility as human being. Correct, guys? These are the examples. Everybody, every house has this example. Microwaves and radio frequency. We have got television antenna, we have got macro mobile antenna, whatnot. So guys, we are getting exposed of the microwave radiation every now and then. We are not untouched. Radio radiations are there. Correct? Guys, now we are going to see infrared. In infrared, radiation can also cause burns and cataract. It can burn your skin and it can create cataracts. Protective clothing may be used to reduce the burning, the burn injury, irritation to skin, and eye protection with suitable filter should be used to avoid discomfort. Normally, it penetrates in your eye. It is creating a glare. You never know. It can create a cataract. So we have to be careful while we are dealing with infrared radiation, guys. These are few examples. And what do you say? This remote, AC remote, TV remote, video remote, door remote, all remotes are having infrared radiation. And what we do? We keep this, remote in our pocket. Do you think it is safe? I have never experienced it and I have never gone through that. But to me, it is having the source of infrared. It should be avoided to putting inside the pocket, keeping near the bed, keeping near the pillows. It should be avoided. It can be avoided. It must be avoided. If you want to remain healthy, it must be avoided. Now you see the sun. Sun is also giving, infrared. But we cannot avoid. We can have some lotion, some cream while we are going out. Correct, guys? Guys, now we are going to see UV ultraviolet rays. Again, it can cause sunburn, conjunctivitis, arc eyes, skin cancer, production of toxic level of some level of ozone, production of toxic level of ozone. UV sources should be normally be kept in an enclosure. It is a declaration from any manufacturer that UV sources should be normally kept in an enclosure. We have to avoid exposure of UV UV light by wearing suitable clothing and ear protection. We must use special glasses or face screen to protect during the welding work. Welder must ensure that he or she uses the face shield, goggles, to protect himself and herself against the UV radiation during the welding. When replacing the UV lamps, choose the correct type of specified by manufacturer. So we must, be careful while choosing, while replacing the UV lamp. Insect killer devices with bright blue light source are often found in food premises are not harmful to the eyes in normal use. But if you are close to that blue light, probably it can harm you. People must not be exposed to the germicidal UV lamps used to sterilize the surfaces. I have seen in the COVID times, there are many people who are selling the UV lamps to kill the coronavirus. I don't know what is the efficacy, what is the usability, and what is the efficiency of those kind of equipment. But knowingly or unknowingly, if we are using this kind of equipment, probably we are at threat. Our family is our threat. Guys, these are few examples of ultraviolet radiations. Solar is giving us a blessings. We have to be little care and sincere about the UV lamps, and we should also be careful regarding this kind of bulbs. As we mentioned that if you are supposed to replace this kind of bulbs, take the protective gears and use the protective gears while replacing or dealing with this kind of equipments. Guys, we are going to see the laser rays. As usual, it can also create heating and photochemical injury to eyes and skin. So do not take it granted, because we have seen that there are some laser show in the market. There are some laser, workshops. So we have to be careful. It can create a photochemical injuries to eyes and skin. What is a laser? A laser, a concentrated beam of radiation which may not always be visible. See, may not be always visible. Probably you are looking at the laser ray, it's not visible. Can be dangerous whether it is viewed directly or after reflection from a smooth surface. So, guys, my request is, I don't say don't go in the bar, don't go in the nightclubs, don't go in the stage show, don't go in the lesser show. You must go, but ensure that you have correct right protective goggles so that your eyes are protected. Maintenance worker who are supposed to go inside the machine, they are at highest risk with lesser rays. And maintenance worker has to be trained, and they should follow the SOP to protect themselves against laser. To be trained and follow the SOP to protect against laser radiation. High powered laser should be normally be inside the safety interlocks enclosure. There are high beam power lasers are there. I have seen it. This must be under safety interlocks enclosure. And do not override the interlocks ever, because knowingly or unknowingly we are creating hazard to yourself and others. Lasers are used for display at bars, night clubs, and stages show and performances. There should be warning to the people, because people are innocent, people are ignorant, and people are bound to follow. What to say? Violate the rules. So we need to keep on, warning them, guys. You are in not in normal show. You are in lesser show, and you should know the risk of lesser and how you can protect yourself against lesser. Guys, how many of you have seen this kind of equipment, this kind of equipment in the advertising in the shop, and how many of you are using it? See, please do not misunderstand me. I'm not saying don't use it. But please, if you are going to use this kind of equipment which has got the laser, please go for best manufacturer. Please read the manual. Please read the exposure level. Don't use oftenly. So knowingly and unknowingly, you are putting yourself in danger. You and yourself, your families are going in danger situation. and you feel this is a costly equipment and it is creating beauty for you. No, it is an illusion. It is not creating a beauty. It is creating hazards. It is creating risk to you. You are getting exposed of the radiation. Guys, we are almost in the end of this program. We must remember this thing. Reduce any exposure to ionization and UV radiation as far as possible. See, there are many things where we don't have control, but I would request you, suggest you, mentor you, please, protect as much as you can do. I don't say don't, always sit in your house, don't go out of your home, out of your office. We must do it, but we must take a control measures. Use safer means like use ultrasonic non-destructive testing instead of X-ray. There's a ultrasonic and it is available. So don't go for X-ray always. Check on any radiation hazards at the time of purchase of equipment. Whenever you are purchasing any equipment, hair removal or anything, you must try to read the what is the radiation hazard level. And we should encourage those guys who are getting exposed with the radiation. They must have personal exposure monitoring with the help of dosimeter. With this meter, probably you are able to know what are the dose rate. So these are the sample of a radiation dosimeter where you can have accumulated, dose. So you can measure weekly, monthly, quarterly, yearly. So likewise, you can have your data of exposure. So guys, with this, I end for this presentation. I hope you might have enjoyed this program, and I hope this information may be used and suitable for you. I would request you to please use this link to train your people, and I request you to please, my request is please subscribe this channel. We are going to release many videos in coming days, coming months, so that you can get the regular update from our side. I request you to please send this link to your professional friends on WhatsApp or other social media. So with this, we are ending the session. There are many programs available online on our website. So if you're a student, you can go for 199 rupees per training. This is very cheap. And in lieu of that, you are going to get a certificate. Guys, certificates are very important in many cases because people who are going to take your interview, they ask for a certificate. Right? I don't say the certificate is very important, but certificate is important to get a job. And after that, getting a job, your skill is required. So guys, with this, I thank you very much. And I request you to please share your comment in comment section so that I can come back to you if there is any suggestion or if you need any special training or program. With this guys, thank you very much. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.